To the looming footy, hey? And Fremantle are coming into town. They're going to ride their purple wave over from the west after what really was a giddy high of the most uplifting home elimination final.
This will be a victory that no Fremantle fan will ever forget.
You know I'm back.
This is a young group now, and they're building something pretty special together. What that does for this group, you just cannot measure.
You don't come back from 41 points down, I think it was, without belief already there. So they've got a lot of belief in our footy.
Richards just got it away, but got it to Walters. Walters kicks it goal, and can you believe what is happening at Optus? 10 of the last 11 goals. It's taken every ounce of the old heave-ho, but the Dockers have done it. From despair to delirium, these Dockers fans have been taken on an emotional journey.
The belief's there.
A stunning turnaround.
Alex Pearce is about to join me. So you were just saying you've spoken with Caleb Sarong this afternoon.
Sarong, just an hour ago. Doing a big piece on him for Saturday's Herald Sun. I think me and everyone who watches football admires all footballers when you see a guy like Caleb Sarong, who short in stature, huge in heart, close to best of field last week. He's from Inverloch, grew up in Inverloch. Yep. And he described, or tried to describe, I can't even remember exactly what he said, Gerard, but try and picture this with those highlights we just saw. To be 40 points down on your home deck and gather this momentum and win the game, the noise in that stadium, it was like an out-of-body experience.
Right.
Like we talked about the noise at Collingwood and Geelong last week. This young fella who was brilliant in the game was describing this purple momentum that swept everyone off their feet. I got excited listening to him, mate.
Let's run it past the stand-in skipper, shall we? With Nat Fyfe out injured, Alex Pearce is leading the early stages of this campaign. Alex, great to have you on AFL 360.
Thanks for having me, guys. Give
us your best attempt to explain what it felt like on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience and something I haven't experienced before on a footy field or even at an AFL game, to be honest. Look, I think the thing that got me the most was even when we were 40 points down, we kicked that sort of first goal to just sort of get one on the board, and the crowd just erupted, and it was almost, like they believed that we were going to do it as well. And like I was still pretty confident out there, but to know that, 59,000 of them believed at that stage. And then, once we got in a roll, it was just amazing. So, something I won't forget, that's for sure.
How do you, this is one of the great challenges in football, Alex. How do you gather that synergy again? Because it's not going to be there. So it's got to come within this week. When you go to the MCG this weekend, and there might be 85,000 Collingwood supporters there doing to Collingwood players what happened to you last week. So you guys are, I don't know, you got your little gang and you're going into hostile territory and it's a completely different environment. How mentally do you approach that?
Yeah, you certainly have to frame it a bit differently going into the game. Obviously, going into the weekend, we knew that we were going to have a big crowd behind us, and we spoke about how it would be a bit of a unique experience for us, our first final, and it would be a bit different. And obviously the first quarter we didn't adapt to the bit of a higher intensity and just the crowd as well. So, but now obviously, framing this weekend, that crowd's going to be against us. So, look, you've always got choices and decisions that you make out there when you hear that crowd. The easiest thing to do is to, if it's against you, to sort of let it get you down a little bit or take your confidence away. So, we'll be discussing, we've already spoken about that we're going to embrace the challenge if it's us versus everyone pretty much, and we only need the 23 of us that are out there. And it's just about when we hear that crowd, that's sort of a trigger for us to come together, use each other, and find our own sort of motivation and belief.
That's a great insight. Hey, just take us into the coach's room afterwards. So once you leave the maelstrom of the arena and down into the rooms, and it's the 23 of you and the coaching staff, and we get a little glimpse of it. What was this like?
Yeah. I can't remember, to be honest. The whole game is a bit of a blur. Look, seeing all the staff members and the other, like the non-playing players, like that's always special. You're sharing that sort of success together, and so that's really nice. And obviously, with the meeting, JL, I don't think he had too much to say really. It's obviously we speak about the feeling we have, and you've got to celebrate these moments, and that was obviously a very special moment for all of us. But it just gives us another opportunity. It keeps us alive, and we've obviously got more that we want to accomplish.
You're probably really sick and tired of this next subject, Alex, and that's going to be you, because you miss so much footy. And when you talk to Dockers people, they would always say, we're missing Alex Pearce. And everyone would say, he was a good player. He was a good player. Since you've come back, and I reckon it really landed on everyone when you were mic'd up for the Fox footy game, and we heard what sort of leader we knew what sort of player you were, but to hear you on the ground that day, we knew what sort of leader you were, and you're the captain going into this week. Can you describe your return from injury and how proud of you of your performance, of your team, and the fact that you're captain this club in front of 95 on the weekend? What does that mean to you?
I've spoken a few times this year that being able to captain the side was and is the most special and humbling experience that I've had as a professional footballer. And to be honest, I had a moment probably a couple of weeks ago when Nat went down before the final, and it was like I knew that I was going to be the captain for the final, and it probably took me 24 hours to sit with it and go, like I'm going to captain an AFL final. And sitting on it and sort of talking to a few people, and it was like it doesn't change anything, the way I lead and the way I have to perform. And it became a really, really fun and enjoyable experience heading into the game. And that's the same thing this week. The occasion's, a little bit bigger, but my role doesn't change. And I think having experienced last week and the start that we got off to, and knowing that you do need a bit of a cool head, particularly at the start of the game. So, I might sort of change a little bit of my messaging leading into the game to make sure we're really focused on us, and we get ourselves into the game and we find our groove a little bit earlier. But it's I've tried not to, I guess, stop and smell the roses too much. It's something I really enjoy, and as much as it's cliche, as stupid as it sounds, it's another week, and that's the only thing that matters is me performing and me leading as best I can.
What's the dynamic like with Nat Fyfe? So it's his misfortune. I imagine you're very close as leaders. How do you interact with him while he's enduring the frustration of not being able to live this experience?
It's obviously very tough in that, and he's been fantastic day to day through the club, and his influence on game day as well. He's always there with us. He still takes charge during the week and really brings our leadership group together and aligns us at the start of the week. And he's been such a great mentor for me in many ways, on, off the field, and particularly in my sort of journey as a leader. So we still work together. He gives me a bit of a berth to do my own thing on game day as well. I guess this season I've been able to sort of do it a fair bit, so I've had to I've sort of grown a bit more comfortable in the role, and I think he trusts me to be able to do the job. But I really do feel for him, and I'd love to have him back next week for a prelim, that's for sure.